Hey, what up, guys? This is the Nathan Carter YT sitting with MVP Shear 123R88, and we're here with our 10th anniversary show, our review, our Young Wolves Rising review, our Steen Steals the Show review, whatever you want to call the show. Just got done watching it, so we'll start off with the first match, which was ANX versus Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team. Which, if it's anything, I forgot that was the first match. If that gives you like any indication of how I felt about it.
This show was so underwhelming. It was so underwhelming.
Just that match, like, there's a I don't know, whatever. That's another
2 stars.
Just you don't open like the crowd was not into that match at all. You gotta bring something out to get the crowd.
Well, first
excited.
off, like we should make a point. Like the sound issues in the show were terrible, and it really showed there. Like they tried to do like the promo with
Right.
Kenny King and Red Titus, and you couldn't hear shit because they still had the crowd noise on, which covered up everything they were saying. Which it was a problem all night. That was a problem all night. The camera angles were a definite problem all night.
Right.
It didn't seem to get better ever.
The production values were
really
horrific.
Really bad.
Like I don't know.
Bush League.
I'm like, oh, you could get some high school students to do it better. Like
we could have probably done it better.
Yeah, like you got to turn off the mics.
Class in college, it's not that hard.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so we had that. It was just not a good way to start the show.
I called that. I was 1-0.
And then we moved on to Bennett and Homicide. Was that next?
Yes,
that was next. And
the announcing was bad too.
The announcing was
started
terrible.
Really here when they were like,
goodness.
"Oh, let's go do the cop killer from the top rope."
Which is funny because at that point I turned to him. I was like, "You know, what'd be really funny is if he just like trolled Maria with some CM Punk stuff, and then he immediately went in to go to sleep." That was like that was like the only time I marked out all night.
I was pissed Julia Smokes didn't show up. I was happy that Maria was there. She looked very nice. Like she was just like gyrating in the ring randomly. I mean,
but up until the end when he did like and even the CM Punk stuff wasn't that memorable.
Bennett gets the roll up after getting hit with the go to sleep. He like wakes up in 10 seconds and gets the roll up.
Oh yeah, two roll ups in the first 2 matches.
In the first 2 matches, 2 roll ups.
Oh my goodness!
Another 2 stars.
Well, then we move on to the third match, which was House of Truth against Red and T.J. Perkins. Which I don't know why they didn't start the show with this.
Yeah, it would have been good to start the show.
You gotta start the show.
11 minutes. It was fast paced. It was everything you wanted. It had a lot of nice spots in it. I mean, you knew this match was going to be good because Elgin and Strong work really well with smaller guys, and Red and T.J. Perkins are kind of like perfect opponents for them.
Right.
It didn't overstay its welcome. I mean, the finish was sick as hell, like their finisher. I mean, it was an all-around.
Well, like, I think the reason they put on ANX Briscoes first, or not Briscoes, ANX Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team, was I think they thought people were going to be more into Red Titus being back than they were. Like, I think they thought Red Titus would get like a pop.
The crowd was kind of dead the entire show.
And the crowd was just so focused on chanting yes. Like, okay, yes, it was funny like the first time. Yes. It's a stupid chant. Just whatever. That's another video for another time. Then we move on to Tommaso Ciampa against Jay Lethal for the TV title, which I enjoyed.
I think Tommaso Ciampa's like just a younger version of Austin Aries. That's how I see him. I think he's a good promo guy. I think he needs some work in the ring. It went the full 15 minutes. It went to a draw. The first 12 minutes were pretty fucking boring. The last 3 minutes were pretty hot. I'll give him that. Ciampa stole the title. Lethal didn't know he stole the title. So then Lethal went backstage to go kick his ass or something. It was an okay match, I guess. I mean, there was nothing. It wasn't wrong. There's nothing wrong with it, but
right.
It was what I expected. Like the whole show. I mean, the first 4 matches were pretty much what I expected. So, I mean, I can't really fault them. I wasn't, like, looking forward to really any of them besides for the tag match, the Red.
Right.
TJP.
Yeah, I mean, I could not get into it.
But at this point, we did think, like, the last 3 matches. Because then they had intermission, and we're like, okay, well, the last 3 matches of the show are going to be, you know, the bread and butter of the show.
Right.
They had intermission. The intermission wasn't too long, which was good, I think, because I don't think they should really ever have, like, an intermission in the show. I always think that's kind of dumb. They don't ever have intermission in WWE pay-per-views. And the intermission was used to show a whole bunch of good moments from Ring of Honor, their 10th anniversary. Like, it was a pretty special thing for them. Like, I liked the whole video package put together. That might have been the most well-done thing of the show. And considering we just watched this, but we didn't even remember half the stuff that happened. We didn't talk about Eddie Kingston and Kevin Steen's promo in the first half. Which was the best part of the first half, probably. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
He called Eddie Kingston a bitch because he says, you you were here, you know, in Ring of Honor, and then Jim Cornette came and basically like.
I just want to know who else they're going to co-promote with. Like that was just interesting.
Yeah, they said they were going to come over.
Like, I mean, are they going to go to the West Coast co-promote with PWG? Are they going to co-promote
Dragon Gate USA?
I mean, it'll probably just end up being like, okay, we co-promote with Chikara, and then cool, we co-promote with OVW. I guarantee
Mike
you.
Mondo
I guarantee you the next Louisville show will be like, ROH versus OVW. Oh my goodness.
I mean, the promo was good. It got over the fact that they might have a Steen Kingston match, maybe at Unity. Which, if we go to Unity, I would be down to seeing that match. You know, all the ants came out there to beat down Kevin Steen. Got into a big brawl. I mean, it was probably the best part of the first part of the show. It was actually, you know, something I'm interested in seeing.
Right.
Which Steen, by the way, coming out like eating a banana. And his little tux, like, it's great. I love his theme music too. I love the little wolf at the start of his theme music, just kind of like a just a burn on Davey Richards' theme music.
So after intermission, we get Young Bucks Briscoes. I love them boys, but I just wasn't doing anything for me tonight.
No, and then the match, like after like 10 minutes, the match froze on us. This is the first like really bad freeze we had because we missed the entire ending of the match.
Yeah, just the internet issues were killing us. So we had that. I mean, I don't have anything to say. I think that's the thing. Like, it wasn't like it was any of the stuff was like terrible.
No, it was a good match. It we saw. It was underwhelming.
Really I just felt like everything tonight. Like, I don't have anything to say. Like
how does that match only go like 13 minutes long? Like,
yeah, like I feel like I'm reviewing like a TV show, not like.
Yeah, I mean, like it's this thing. Like we're so like uninterested in this review. Even like we're not
excited
excited about anything. We're just kind of sitting back like, it was whatever. It's because that's what the show was like.
Right.
It was really it was super underwhelming. Like, I mean, I didn't think it was going to be the greatest show ever, but I mean, it's their 10th anniversary. You think they would at least go out there and try. And I feel like a lot of these matches were going like 75% speed.
Then we got Steen Jackoffs.
Which cut out in the middle of that, too.
Right, but I mean, I really don't think we missed much. If we missed some like cool spot, just to let our viewers out there know, what we missed was between... He
was over in the one corner, like throwing into the stuff, and then when we came back, they had set up all these barriers.
They were all the barriers in the
entryway. And then Jackoffs hit the swinging DDT.
So if we just missed something really sick in those like 2 or 3 minutes, let us know. But I would be shocked.
The story of this was kind of weird. Like, I mean, I get why Steve Carino didn't want Jackoffs to fight, and then Jackoffs fought anyway, and then Steve Carino got on, you know, commentary, which just ruined. I mean, the commentary was so terrible. With Steve Carino on it, it just got worse. I just don't know where are they going to go with that? Like, I don't know either. I mean, it's just Jackoffs stabbed him with a spike, busted him open, and then like just stopped, threw the spike down, let Steen get up. Steen spiked him in the nuts, and then gave him an F5 into the chair. And I just wish Steen would have spiked him in the head. I think that would have been better. It looked like that's what he was setting up to do because he's pulling his hair back. And I thought he was just going to cut, like, Steen was just going to cut and just, like, slash him in the And then Jackoffs looked like he was, like, he didn't know what to think after the match. Jackoffs was kind of just, like, shocked by, like, what he did. The only thing he was, like, deep in thought, like, after he just got, like, dropped in an F5 down the Like, I didn't even know where they were going to go with it during the match. The only thing I could have seen him doing is, like, I would have liked to have seen Jackoffs go, like, full, like, evil again. Not, like, heel evil. Still, I thought he might have turned. Still lost. Like, I would have still had him lose. But what I would have done is maybe that transitions into Carino and Jackoffs doing something. I think they just make Steen look like weak because he didn't really beat him. Like Jackoffs threw it down and just stood there and took like the rest of the stuff. Right. Like I feel like Steen should be going over like dominantly at the end, and he didn't. He kind of just caught him because Jackoffs kind of just let him go after he stabbed him once. I don't know. I felt like this match was very much like I feel like when they were booking, they were like, "Oh crap. We need to have a Steen match. Let's give him Jackoffs. Let's give him Jackoffs. Only we're not going to let him beat Jackoffs. Like, Jackoffs is going to let... I don't know. Jackoffs let him win. Like he couldn't beat Jackoffs on his own. I don't know. We got to the main event of the show. The match I was definitely most intrigued by. Young Wolves. Rising. It was easily the best match on the show. It was. The first 20 minutes were pretty slow. The last 20 minutes were pretty fucking good. I give them... They had a lot of really good spots. They had a lot of really good storytelling. Jarvis... MVP, or not MVP, Mad Scientist 79, he called the finish. Adam Cole tip of the cap. Davey Richards. Tip of the cap. Good to you, sir. If I had a smooth tip of the smooth and heavy to you. I think he needed to pin him on a flash roll-up or something. Just the fact that he pinned him on a crossbody, I don't know how much I like that. Yeah, let's not. Hey, Adam Cole, if you happen to see this video, which you probably won't, but let's say you do, just no more crossbodies. Like, you know, when you're living in an independent wrestling world where people do like outrageous aerial things, and like you do a crossbody block, world champion off that. I mean, just like, okay, cool. That's how Ric Flair won the title from Harley Race back in the day. But
it's 2012, man.
It
like,
is.
No more crossbody blocks.
The match was probably like 4 1/4. If it would have been a little bit better at the start, I would have probably given it a higher.
Crowd wasn't into it enough.
It had a lot of good moments in it though. Like the last 20 minutes were packed full with some good wrestling.
There were two things that really killed it that killed the show for me outside the wrestling: the crowd and the commentary, which is
and
awful.
the camera
and the production
and the production because it canceled out twice. Luckily, it didn't cancel out in that match at all. Like,
it was just before those matches even got in the ring. Like I felt like they already had an uphill climb just because I knew I was going to hate the crowd atmosphere because the crowd just was even like there was a moment later in the match where like I think it was about the time where they tumbled out of the ring with like the vertical suplexes and just like there was like the crowd was just quiet. It
was like the least like hot crowd I've heard like New York City like Hammerstein have for a Ring of Honor show. It was just really weird. The whole night of wrestling was just really weird. It seemed like nobody was really trying to steal the show. Nobody was really trying to put on a great match. The only match I think that people were actually trying was the main event, and I really don't think they were trying the last 20 minutes. I think they put 20 minutes of like nothing together, and then they were like, let's try really hard the last 20
I'm starting to get the feeling that like Ring of Honor crowds are losing a bit of their edge just because like they don't have like the rebellious spirit that they used to. Like no one like even like okay, like in 2006 and stuff like that, I probably would have been like, fuck WWE, like just fuck TNA, Ring of Honor, it's the real wrestlers. And like even watching this, I'm like, honestly, like a WWE show, I probably would have been just as entertained.
I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of mad at the show. Like, they did nothing to set up Showdown in the Sun. Like that show would not make me want to actually buy their next pay-per-view, their next pay-per-view. Just nothing on it was really well put together besides for the main event. Which I mean, no other match went very long. No other match got any time to develop anything special. That was the only match that got it got like 40 minutes. So I mean, that was a good time for that. But I mean, I feel like the Briscoes, Young Bucks could have had a 20-minute match. Steen and Jackoffs could have had a 20-minute match. Like, it wouldn't have hurt anything. Like, I think they needed more time to develop. Like, when your title match ends in 13 minutes, it kind of seems like you just don't give a shit about that. When the Briscoes are probably your most overact. And then when, Steen and Jackoffs ends in like 15 on just kind of a ridiculous ending to me, I felt like nothing had time to develop, so then nobody really cared about what they were doing. When your opening match is as long as your tag team title match, that's a big problem.
Honestly, like if they knew, because they did hardly any there was no storyline progression on this show.
No, I mean, I guess you could say Steen and
right.
Jacobs
Besides the
Steen
promo at the end with Steen, which was good. I mean, Steen's getting over right now, basically.
Steen's promo at the end was great. What was it? Jiu-Jitsu Jackoff?
Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu Jackoff.
I like that.
Which reflects my opinion perfectly.
Steen stole the show. That was his thing. It should have been called Steve Stole the Show instead of Young Wolf's Wife.
Right. I just to me like if they're not going to have any storyline progression on the show, like. Why not just go out there and give a balls out effort?
Just like Kevin motherfucking Steen should have fought Davey Richards for the title. I really thought they were gonna do that. Like that would have maybe saved the show if they would have been like, yeah, let's just have that match go on right now. That's how PWG ended their 8th anniversary show. They could have easily ended the 10th anniversary show with a 10 or 15 minute match between those two. It would have the crowd would have been fucking hot for it because the crowd was hot for most of anything Kevin Steen.
Oh, by the way, Kevin Kelly changed his headline 3 times in the last 5 minutes of the show. First, the headline was supposed to read that Cole pins Richards. Then the headline was going to read O'Reilly doesn't shake hands with people he doesn't respect. Now it's Steen wants a shot at Richards or something like that. So Kevin Kelly, please just get off my
The commentary was bad.
Just get off my eye pay-per-view.
Camera angles were bad.
I feel like
the wrestling was uninspired. I think that's the biggest word. Everyone seemed uninspired in the ring.
Yeah, the commentary was uninspired.
They didn't care that it was the 10th anniversary show.
Well, also, I will say this: 4 p.m. on Sunday afternoon is a terrible time to have a show. They got to.
It really is.
Why not just put them on Saturday night? Come on now.
Do a 7 o'clock show.
Just none of this Sunday afternoon.
Nobody's doing anything from 7 to 10. After that, people can go out and party or do whatever. They would buy that show at that time. It's definitely a better time slot.
Right. I mean,
even 7 to 10 on Sunday night would be a better time slot.
We're kind of coming to the end here of a very uninspired review and a very uninspired show. If you have a uninspired final remark.
Yeah, if you want to leave your review of the bottom or tell us why you thought this show was great or horrible or terrible.
Yeah, maybe we're just in a bad mood. Maybe today we were just in a fucking.
I feel like it was uninspired. I feel like nobody really cared to go out there and deliver something special. I feel like the main event was pretty fucking good, but I mean, we both went $5 on it. I think the main event is worth the $5 we probably paid. The rest of the show, just flat, just really, really flat. It left a really sour taste in my mouth, and it leaves a really sour taste in my mouth for Ring of Honor in general. If this is the direction they're going with their company, I don't really care.
Right. Well, for the Nathan Carter YT and MVP Shear 123R88, you can see us #FreeJarvis on Twitter and we will see you next time.